this is an interesting resource here. Let's check this out a minute since we're here, right? Wow. What is this? Okay. This is quite a web here. And I can see there's victims here. Maria Farmer, she was the first victim. She went to the cops in 1996. She went to the FBI in 1996, and they did not take her seriously, or more correctly, they participated in the cover up. What this is wild. Yeah, so Adam Horowitz, Jack P. Hill, some of these we looked through. I'm trying to find some new names in here. Larry Summers, John F. Kennedy. What? Why are you in here? Why are you in here? It's probably because he's in the. Okay. He appears 100. So okay, so this is kind of interesting because it shows you how much each person appears too. So Sergey Brin, let's take a look at him because this is the guy who founded Google, one of the founders of Google. There's a lot of sketchy stuff with him. So 62 times across 43 documents, primarily in the Epstein files, or primarily in emails and book apps. See the key highlights. Multiple documents describe Google founders Larry Page and Sergey Brin visiting Epstein's plane on the Monterey tarmac when their company was still in infancy or rising into the stratosphere. 2019 email from Epstein to himself lists Sergey among names in what's labeled lists for Bannon Steve, alongside figures like Dersh and others. So that could just be a name of people that or a list of people that he wanted to name drop to Bannon. Apparently, Epstein and Bannon's relationship is very much centered on their mutual hate for Donald Trump because they were both, on the outs with Trump at the time. A lot of book references. And I'm curious why these people are all off to the side here. Okay. Abraham Lincoln's in here. Why is he catching strays? What? See, this is the thing that I was saying about how they're putting everything they can out there to delude the. Yeah, I don't know why these are listed so far away in this map. And it's like they're only connected through Robert Maxwell. Oh, okay. That makes sense. So Robert Maxwell was Ghislaine Maxwell's father, who was like a media tycoon. So he knew all these are people from his generation, I guess, that he was connected with. Even George Soros, Richard Dawkins. I don't think he's legitimately old enough for. Let's see, Leon Black. This is one of the people who a lot of Epstein's wealth came from. This guy and Les Wexner, listed in emails as one of several pro-Jeffrey power brokers contacted during damage control efforts. See, look at this. He gave Epstein $158 million for tax and estate planning. I've heard a lot of different things about whether or not he was actually smart enough to do tax stuff, because there is, of course, thank you, a lot of theories that, he was just dumb and couldn't even do math, basically. And, but I don't think that was accurate. I think it was like kind of more in between, is that he was intelligent enough in some ways, but he was an expert scammer. And, there's a lot of those people around, but I think he got lucky to fall into the right places. But let's look back at this and just kind of compare. I'm surprised that Leon Black was only in there 70 sometimes. Paul Ryan's in there. This is a good resource too. People are really going ham. These developers are really going crazy with their interfaces that they're making for this. Let's see how Bush is in here. 302 times. Clinton is in there 1,255. Let's see with Trump, which will not be accurate because there's so many redactions, but I'm kind of curious. I saw him when we first were in here. I'll keep my eye open. Bill Clinton has more mentions than Ghislaine Maxwell. That's kind of wild. Virginia has 279. I will say, I said this a couple streams ago, but I'd highly recommend reading that book. It is very, very powerful, and it really describes kind of the problems in our society that enable this kind of stuff. I mean, that was the really, really profound thing about that book. I mean, a lot of the stuff about the case has been said before. Les Wessner is only in here 191 times. See, he granted Epstein power of attorney over him while he's just, he's not on his deathbed or anything. Like, you got to be under blackmail for that. But yeah, there are big debates about whether he was Donald Trump 2,775. Is that more than Clinton? I'm be shocked if that's more than Clinton, because I know he put out. Yeah, that's twice as much. Wow. I mean, a lot of that is sketch. A lot of that is also his discussions with Bannon and Michael Wolff, because a lot of that has been introduced as evidence. But let's see the key highlights. Ghislaine Maxwell was questioned about Trump and her DOJ proffer transcript. Oh, yeah, that was when she said he was a gentleman. Well-documented photographs show Trump and Epstein socializing at Mar-a-Lago and New York parties. We all know that. Seen personal email shows inner circle discussing Trump. Mark Epstein called him Donnie D, and associates forwarded research to the DJT Brain Trust. Mentioned Epstein-related litigation. He banned Epstein from Mar-a-Lago after an incident. That incident was most likely a real estate argument, or really Trump kind of screwed him over. The archive also contains automated newsletters and campaign emails. And by screwed him over, I mean that to just give the full story. Epstein had found a property that he liked in Palm Beach, and Trump's the real estate guy, and he thought they were friends. So he's like, "You take a look at this for me." So then Trump bought the property and then sold it for like 3 times what it was worth. And then ever since then, Epstein has been like, with the, board where you're pinning the things, like basically what I have a digital version of right here, where he is really insistent that Trump is on some big money laundering thing, which with like a foreign oligarchs, apparently. That was his theory. And that came up in some of those emails. Bradley Edwards, that is the victim's attorney. Jeff Sessions is catching strays in here. Let's see what this nerd is. Okay, multiple documents use sessions, a common word, massage sessions, training sessions, music sessions, with no relation to Jeff Sessions, the person. I'm sure a lot of it is that. Yeah, that's funny. So there's some anomalies in here that get through. But overall, like these resources make the information more digestible because of the fact that they're dumping so much paperwork on people. It's that classic move. Prince Andrew, we didn't look at him. You can move these around. Okay. 296, that's it. And he's screwed. He's not a prince anymore. So they're saying that he might actually end up in jail because of the fact that the British royal family is rightfully concerned that people don't want a royalty anymore, especially after a lot of this. And people are fed up with having a royalty. So they are essentially going to try to sacrifice him, most likely, as a way of prolonging the inevitable. Kevin Spacey, we all know about a lot of these, but I like how they have the summaries that tell you, Netanyahu, what's up here? 96 times. What's this guy? What's going on with you? Most mentioned are from automated news subscriptions, one satirical email, a crude financial passage referencing Bill Clinton on the phone with Netanyahu during inappropriate conduct with Monica Lewinsky. Yeah, this has come out that there's a very good chance that Bill Clinton was blackmailed. And it correlated with things that were happening in Israel, apparently, too. I saw on some video. I'm not sure if that's confirmed, but I saw in some documentary I was watching a while ago. And I think it was like a PBS documentary, not some like random internet thing. Okay. It could have been some of the mentions could have been somebody called BB Stark instead, covering multiple. So this is, I was curious about him because of the fact that Epstein and Ehud Barak had the intelligence company. It was I don't know exactly. It was like the kind of counterintelligence. I'm not sure how you would describe it, but it was kind of like a private Palantir kind of offering. that they were trying to shop around to different countries. And let's see if we can find him. He spell his name. Oh, what? Persons, organizations. Why isn't he in here? Here we go. Let's see what his mentions were. Listed among prominent Epstein jet passengers. Okay. 2016 email article describes Barak having breakfast with Epstein where he is over his omelet able to defend both Obama and Putin. Spokesman statement confirms Barak attended several small functions at Epstein's New York home with leading businessmen. Court documents explicitly states, yeah, that I don't believe, especially from what Virginia Giuffre has said. She has said that he was like the most brutal person that she dealt with and was probably one of the main reasons why she ended up leaving and realizing that Epstein really didn't care about her, because when she told him about her interaction with Ehud Barak and how he was like violent with her, Epstein's response was, "You get that sometimes." And that was kind of the moment where she was like, "I need to get out of here. This isn't safe." And of course it was never safe, but because she really did a good job of explaining that, because a lot of things were normalized throughout her life, that it was very hard for her to see what she was a part of. And they definitely targeted people like that. So it appears in one court filing among individuals, someone was allegedly, yes, this is that situation, the Virginia Giuffre situation. Let's see what else they got in here. Because like I said, these interfaces really help you kind of make sense of what's in these documents. And the website is just epsteinsecrets.com. And the other one is Jmail or jmail.world. So those are the two best documents that I think are the best resources that I think are available now. But if you find any other ones, let me know and I'll definitely look through them. This is the whole list here of names of people that are on here. And of course, as they always say, every 2 seconds on the news, this does not indicate any wrongdoing. Of course, it does in like 90% of the circumstances as far as I'm concerned, but there are a lot of random ass people that do catch strays for no reason. Like Harry Reid, let's see if Harry Reid appears in media personality lists, names sound okay. So yeah, like this guy appears in the Epstein files a lot because he is in news articles that's sent back and forth. So that's the reason why I said like we got to be somewhat careful with some of these, but it is really good that they've isolated the people like this, because that eliminates a lot of the work for us, at least to some extent. Because the thing with some of these websites is you never know like how recently they've been updated. Jmail's been pretty good, but yeah. So with Harry Reid, he was like this very weird congressman who like was into like UFOs and stuff. I remember doing a couple articles about him way back in the day when he was like saying he had information on UFOs and shit. 'Cause yeah, definitely always covered all that kind of stuff. All right, Acosta. I know there's not going to be enough on here for him. I mean, we all know that he was the one who, was responsible for the plea deal. And he also is the person who said that he was told to back off because Epstein had intelligence connections. Yeah, I really think that there's a lot going on with him. And it's really so weird that he ended up being Trump's labor secretary. And then you got Howard Lutnick, who's in there now. I forget what position he's in. He's in one of them treasury positions. And he was Epstein's next door neighbor. There's all these weird connections. Yeah, Epstein was really close to him. Larry Summers, mega creep. He's the guy that had the email that said, "Do not share this observation." And then he proceeds to say like the most creepy thing while he's asking for advice on how to like creep on his mentee, which is like right there. Like, you don't do that at all. Like, leave her the hell alone, dude. Let's see. Hello, Jonathan. Welcome. I'm going through the list of names compiled here on epsteinsecrets.com. I've been browsing through a couple of these different interfaces that help us make sense of the files, trying to see if I could find anything new in here. A lot of these are I think we've went through a lot of these, but some of them are new. Let's see Bill Gates. We all know he's been in there, but let's see if there's anything. Multiple documents reference Epstein advising Gates on ways to increase the Gates Foundation's impact by pulling funds from other wealthy individuals. And he was like a lot closer to Epstein than he let on before. That's actually one of the reasons why his wife left him. And she ended up saying that publicly too. This is EpsteinSecrets.com. Yeah. Peter Thiel, 82 mentions across 51 documents. Yeah, see, so he was at Epstein's house with Bill Gates and Mort Zuckerman. Okay, I thought that said Mark Zuckerberg for a minute there. Described in what appears to be a media article about Epstein's social circle, mentioned in a brief. Lawrence Krauss, we looked him up the other night, and he had a bunch of not just in trouble for hanging out with Epstein, but also like allegations. This one's on Trump. I'll take a look at that. Yeah, I'll take a look at that one, Jonathan. Let's see.